I'll do the intro while I cough. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Stoner Morning Show, where this is just a parody. And even though we advocate for intelligent use of certain chemicals, we don't advocate you doing anything illegal. Just being happy and loving people.
Yeah.
Woo.
Even if that's
Okay.
illegal, do that.
Yeah.
Even if it's illegal, be happy and loving. I'm going to do the
What
music.
do you, I know I get heavy sometimes. But, you know, what do you guys, do they have a passport there with you guys? Like a vaccine passport?
No, not yet, I don't think.
Nobody has that? Nobody has to show a card or anything?
Oh, no, we all got to show cards. Most places. Like, not most places, but a lot of places.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Man, it does seem it's so interesting. The lines that get drawn in society are so it's for me. I always it's a weird line. I don't know. You know what I mean?
No.
I feel like the passport thing is kind of scary. I think it's kind of scary to have people. I mean, I understand maybe showing like vaccination, but man, it seems so personal. And it seems so, I don't know, like on the path to dystopia kind of shit. But I also get that we live in a society and we don't want to be selfish assholes who like hurt other people, you know? So you want to protect yourself. Like I'm not pro-vaccine, but I mean, it's weird it's just that we live with, there's a lot of people who are assholes. Like I'm an asshole. We're assholes sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I totally get why you would be like, oh, we all can carry this virus. I want to show that I have been inoculated against this virus before I come into this closed room. But I also don't understand why there has to be hostility towards someone who doesn't understand that or doesn't agree with that right away.
Yeah.
Like just, okay, they can't go into your place, but you don't need to shit on them also and be hostile toward them.
They're frustrated themselves. I feel like the best answer for all that is like better education instead of like pushing it on people to like teach people like they're doing a bad job of telling people why it's good or what's good about it. So I don't know. It's interesting. You know, in China here they have I'm not in China, but I learned more about it because I had this comic who came out here and was telling me about their social. They have like a social credit system, you know, and so it limits your travel. Like you have to have a good credit score, basically a good social credit score for you to go leave the country or even just leave your province or maybe leave your town. Those kind of things.
Damn.
Like it's super controlled, which is
America is like that too, though, because it's like if you try to emigrate here, you have to show that you have money or something like that. A lot of times.
Yeah. But no, if you're in Texas, you don't have to show you don't have to have owe money to Walmart to go visit your uncle in New York.
Oh, it's within the country. Oh, wow.
Even within the country. Wow. Or like if you live in if you say were born in New York or you were born in Cleveland in Ohio and then you moved to New York, you'd still be a citizen of Ohio. And you couldn't get any of the social benefits of living in New York. Like if you wanted to go to the hospital, you have to go back to Ohio. Weird.
Wow.
In some ways that kind of exists already because it's like there's some restaurants in New York City that are like $300 a dinner. Like I'm not going to go in there.
Yeah, it's already segregated. Yeah. You already did a good job.
Yeah.
Oh, I had another question, guys. I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Yeah.
What's your favorite planet? I'll tell you mine first. Saturn. I feel like Saturn, not to trump anybody else, you guys can say Saturn.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have Saturn in our solar system, what other, we just think that planets were big balls, but
right.
Saturn was like, no, there's some crazy shit out here. You guys don't even know it. And we're like, thank you, Saturn.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I feel like when I was a kid, Jupiter and Saturn were always in competition for my favorite planet because Jupiter.
What was special about Jupiter?
It's just so huge.
It's so big.
So huge. And then it has that eternal red hurricane on it, which is interesting. But the thing that made
Jupiter is
like
all gas, right?
Yeah,
Jupiter's
when I found out it's all gas, I was like, I don't like it.
Me too. Exactly. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird thing though. It just like Jupiter having all that gas. I mean, it's rings in a way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the ring is just around there because of gravity. And that's what Jupiter did with its gaseous ball. Like, this is what I could do with that. It just.
What's your favorite, Jason?
Pluto, definitely Pluto, because he's
wow,
he's out there all alone.
Not Planet X, not the mysterious 10th planet that might be.
With the Anunnaki. You don't believe in the Anunnaki?
I do believe in the Anunnaki.
Scorpio's under Pluto.
Is that your favorite?
Nope. My favorite planet is Earth because fuck the other side.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. I do think. I also find it funny, like we named all these planets like these strong god names, and like Earth is like the nerdiest of all names. Yeah. You know,
Earth means dirt. Earth means dirt.
Yeah, but just the sound of it, Earth. You know, all the other ones even just sound kind of powerful. Like Pluto, even though we associate it with the cartoon, right? It's like still sounds like Pluto, right?
Yeah, it's like where it's like where are you from? I'm from Venus. Where are you from? I'm from Earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This nerd, this guy. Yeah. You look like an Earther.
You look like you're from Earth.
I heard some interesting. Speaking of like things that we liked when we were kids, which is like planets and stuff. I learned some interesting things about dinosaurs this week.
Oh yeah.
Which is one, we don't have a full skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. We don't.
Yeah, we still don't. We still don't, right?
Yeah. And then the other thing is that, like, you know, those dinosaurs with long necks.
The brontosauruses aren't brontosauruses.
Yeah, and there's other ones. I think Allosaurus is one. They didn't eat.
That's a bigger one.
Stuff high in the trees with those.
Really?
It was all about they were able to graze like side to side a lot. So they would eat stuff on the ground.
They're like weed whackers.
But I don't know how we know that. And
you know, I remember last thing I heard about Allosaurus and Brontosaurus was that like their tails were so big to balance out their necks. And so I don't remember if I heard them talking about eating the things, but that makes more sense. Right? You're not having to lift up too. So much weight. But how do you even know that?
Yeah. And then here's the last thing that I learned. There are paleontologists that study just the sounds that we think dinosaurs made. And there are some scientists who think that dinosaurs did not open their mouths when they roared. Like they just made like grunting noises. They didn't roar.
Clucking. I bet you get clucking.
Yeah.
Oh. Ralph, what do you think a dinosaur sounds like?
I just imagine that those scientists just sit around going like, that's probably a sound they made.
Yeah.
yeah. It feels like a really like nobody's double checking them. There's no peer review, you know?
Right.
That's one.
Yeah, mark that down.
I was just thinking about as we were doing that, I don't know if you guys might be of a half a generation before me, but the whole Power Rangers thing, why were they all dinosaurs? Why did their power derive from dinosaurs? And then when they formed, why didn't they form a bigger dinosaur? Why did they form like a man?
Who? The Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Ralph, when I was a child, they weren't dinosaurs, they were cats.
What the fuck? Oh, that's Voltron, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's what he's saying. He's saying that Coldplay is U2 back when we were kids.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The
It's
Power
strange.
Rangers, isn't it true that the Power Rangers was like a completely different show in Japan and America or something like that? Like the
Well,
fighting stuff was from another show, but then all of the stuff about the teenagers,
The actors and the side hustle. Yeah,
that's
I believe so. I believe you're right, Sean.
I mean, it
think
was
that's
a
a
soap
smart-
opera. in
I think
Japan.
that's a smart way to do it. TV.
To do what?
It's just sort of like, hey, we have this show over here. Do you want it? It's like, well, we want half of it, and we'll do
Mhm.
something else. I don't know. It just seems like a smart way to like reuse, recycle, that kind of thing.
What if when they all got in their separate Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus Rex, they all got in their separate mechs and then they formed, and then when it's time for them to form and fight the monster, and they form into the whatever it is, the one unit, the one
Big
robot,
dude.
then it just cuts to Julia Child cooking.
That would be lovely.
Like she's in the same town. Like the fight
just-
just going on
Oh,
behind
we
her.
are-
It just
a little
cuts
bit of
to her
butter.
show. Like
Uh-oh.
she's not in the show like fighting. It's just her show cooking. It's just her cooking show, and then when she's done with the meal, then the brain just comes out like, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah. I feel like being a Power Ranger would be dangerous because wouldn't you just want to live in your robot in a way? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so strong in this thing.
The world is pretty scary, Sean. The
Yeah.
world is pretty scary outside.
Right.
And you don't have to pay rent. They're not paying rent for that thing.
Yeah, I don't
No.
think so.
Good point.
And it's
I
like
definitely
if I want to go to Trader Joe's currently from my apartment, I have to like walk maybe like 20 minutes. But if
maybe they're responsible for the gas bill, like the electric bill, so they're
Oh.
more economic about it.
maybe.
Like off company time, you're gonna pay that tab.
I wonder, parking would be a huge hassle though, Sean.
That's true. Not if you can park it on top of buildings.
Whoa.
Yeah, or you could park it kind of far, but the neck's pretty long. You just like lean it down,
Yeah.
and you can kind of go over a couple other cars. You know.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but very few times. Most of the times I've ever had food or groceries delivered to my house, I remember them because I try to do it as little as possible. I'm fearful of the moment that takes over my life.
Oh, like so you're aware of the deliveries maybe are like maybe you do it on your birthday.
I do it when I'm really sick or really tired, like or
yeah.
like same with like cabs and stuff. Like we were going cab crazy. I remember before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday we did a 24-hour play festival with my students, and I had to go to a class in between during it. So I took a cab there and back because I'd been up all night or most of the night. But like, I'm very because I already feel like I'm pretty sedentary. Like I'm not moving around enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like go down and do your own laundry. Go get your own groceries. Go pick up your food, please. Yeah. I can't. I'm just getting nervous because I'm not making up for the movement other places. That makes sense.
It's a good thing you're aware of it.
Yeah. I just got a new phone and it automatically tells me my steps, which I've never bothered to check. I've never done this before. Now I have a phone that now I have a phone that is telling me against my will even what I'm fine with it, but I'm averaging like 12 miles a day.
Wow. Ooh. What do you do? Oh, from dog walking?
Yeah.
Holy moly, that's a lot of walking.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah, I see you post something about that.
What kind of footwear are you rocking nowadays?
Usually I wear these Skechers that are they're pretty. I didn't buy them for the look. I bought them because they seem like a sturdy shoe.
Good. And so far they've held up, huh?
They've held up since like July. I got them in Ohio.
And I've done no walking this week.
from a Skechers store. From a
Oh, I was there. I was
outlet
there.
store. Yeah.
Man,
Nice.
Sketches was so cool when we were kids. When Sketches first came out, man, they were the shit.
I've always been suspicious of Skechers. I've always felt like, is this a high brand or is this like a Payless? What is
Exactly.
This? What's happening here?
I'm older than you, and when it first came out, we didn't care if it was high brand or not. We just knew, and we're like, "Whoa, this is not Levi. This is, it was like it just looked young and cool, and everybody loved it for like 6 to 8 years, and then it just disappeared for like 5 years, and then all of a sudden it came back in like Payless.
They're always, I feel like they've always been off and on throughout my whole life. And now they're making another resurgence, I think. But you ever have like in high school or at work, as an adult, you ever have like, there's a woman around that maybe you get along with well, and you're always like, am I attracted to her? I don't know. I think no, maybe
Yeah.
kind of. That's how I feel about Skechers. I'm always like,
Hey, Lex, you know what? I've seen ads for it lately. Ralph and Sean might not recognize this name, but Skids. Do you remember Skids?
I do remember Skids.
They're starting. They're becoming a thing again.
Wait, are those the like pants that look like pajamas, kind of? I
Yeah,
remember those.
yeah.
They were like pleated, a lot of pleats.
And
Was
plaid.
there
Lots of plaids.
Oh yeah, lots of plaid. Wasn't their logo like a street sign with like tire marks or something?
Yep. Yeah. The skid. Be careful sign.
what?
Are you gonna get some?
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it.
Listen, if they're bringing back old brands from my childhood, I really would like to see like cross color jeans come back. Like any outfit from In Living Color, the first like 4 seasons, I would love to see any of that stuff.
I'm surprised a lot of stuff didn't come back, like Troop and Cross Color, and I'm surprised a lot of stuff didn't fully come back because we're pretty close to it. We're adjacent to that stuff. That's like that era is like where I'm getting all my inspiration right now of clothes to wear. I think.
Oh yeah, the 90s.
I also feel like we're in a big.
It's cyclical. Yeah, I started pretending I'm in a Limp Bizkit concert at all times now when I'm in social events just to make myself feel more comfortable.
I feel like we're in a weird loop right now where all time is folding in on itself in terms of because there's not really been much fashion because of COVID. Nothing was really created. Nothing could really drive trends or identify what trends are being driven. I feel like when I'm looking at fashion right now, everybody's wearing things from any time in the last 30 years. There's 90s are in front, but there's a lot of different styles. Like you're seeing like very chunky jeans next to very skinny jeans, and you're seeing like drop crotch pants, and you're seeing sweatsuits, and it's like a lot of eras. You're even seeing like
you know what I think? Can I throw this by you? Because I agree with you, but I was thinking about it with like music because I keep trying to get out of my circle and because I like hearing new things, but it's so easy now because the algorithms that they just push you back into what you played already. And but I wonder if that's the internet, like that's now we have so much more access to what we like instead of being like stuck to the radio. And yeah, and like because I want like I've kind of thought about that with you said that with that's what sparked me was there was a moment in I feel like music where it felt like it was stagnant for a minute. And now I feel like it's getting way more creative again. But there was a moment where it felt like this is the same shit. I don't know.
I never know how I feel about that. I don't know.
That's fair. But I think it is. It's weird. We're in a life where computers weren't a thing when we were kids, and now they're like the most impactful thing man has ever made. And we don't talk about it like that, but that's the truth. Like we are like mankind's evolution is altered, and it happened when I was like had a masturbation addiction when I was 12. I wasn't paying attention to that. you know?
I think I always wonder if it's gonna, because feasibly, perhaps, maybe at the end of our lifetime, we're gonna see something come along that might dwarf the internet.
Sure.
Crypto, dude.
Oh, we
It's
are.
fucking crypto, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
The metaverse.
speaking
The
of
metaverse
crypto,
is gonna dwarf the internet.
That's the next thing. It really is.
speaking of crypto stuff, real quick though, did you guys
Yeah,
see
sure.
that? Oh shoot, what's the one that Jason was talking about a lot? Dreamland, or what is it? What's the
Decentraland.
Decentraland? That thing just doubled today.
Yeah.
We should
The
figure
other
out
one
how
that
to.
doubled. The other one that went up a lot too was Sandbox, and
Mhm.
it's like right now those it's like part of the cycle. The gaming coins are popular. I do think like if you're not into it, let it go. But those are the coins that I keep targeting in the bear market.
Yeah.
Is like I really do think those kind of like the metaverse is the fucking future, man. And then we got to really go back into what Ralph was saying about that shit's delivery. That's like life delivery right to your face.
Uh-huh.
You know, the same shit about him wanting to go out shopping is the same shit that we're gonna have to learn how to deal with, or the next generation is gonna have to deal with.
We should figure out what to do with the Central Land. I feel like we've talked about figuring out how to open up a head shop in there, and we.
I made an avatar and walked around. It's pretty rough when right now. Still, I mean, it's in real fucking early mode, but we should. I want to. And you see, Jay was about to talk about it. Facebook just changed their name to Meta, and they're going Metaverse, because that's, instead of having a Facebook page, you're gonna have a little room that you could walk in, that people could come in, and they already have it now. You could create a wall, and I was looking into it. Jay sent it over to me.
Weird.
You could create a wall.
Horizons.
You walk in and I
Horizon-
could like sign your wall if you wanted me to, or take a selfie and leave it for you to hang on your wall. I don't know. It's all beta stuff, but we're at the beginning of it. We're at the beginning of Ready Player One.
Yeah.
And also the really, really, really beginning of the Matrix.
What's interesting about the Matrix is like the Matrix, which I love, and I think is one of the most influential movies of the last 20 years. I also feel like when I say these things, I'm like, I got it from the bottom of a Snapple top. But
it's 20 years old, by the way, too.
Yeah, I love that movie. But I also feel like the Matrix, for all the lessons that it had, which remain very poignant, also we're years past where Back to the Future was set.
Yeah.
So one day we're gonna look at the Matrix and be like, that was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we'll still love it as a movie and for the lessons that it had, but it's not gonna seem so futuristic and
exciting. I think the Matrix is a giant metaphor. I don't really think that's the future. I think that's a giant metaphor for the majority of the people today, where, I think I'm hyper aware of it because I grew up in what most everybody can assume is a cult now. But a lot of people don't realize that it could be you're part of a certain community, that's what you identify the most with. But we all know intersectionality now. We're now talking about it, but you can be conformed into, humans want to conform. People want to conform. And there's a lot of people in a fucking cult right now. And I think that's what that's about. That's what the Matrix is about. It's just breaking out and finding out that you're, an individual.
You know who really wanted to conform? Those 5 dinosaurs in the Power Rangers. They all wanted to be one thing.
Yeah. That would be a great propaganda just to edit in, is like conformity now. And then they all, together we can beat the bad.
And then there's just the one black guy breakdancing. He's like, "This is great, guys."
Do you guys still watch Saturday Night Live?
We watched the season opener with Owen Wilson, and it was awesome. And we watched the Kim Kardashian, which is also awesome. She's surprisingly funny.
I believe it. Yeah.
I I know Jason, what's his name was just on.
Sudeikis? Oh yeah, I wanted to watch that.
I feel like he's an underrated cast member. But whenever I see him in a sketch, I'm very happy he's there.
He is good, yeah.
He's in two of my favorite sketches. One is I love the What's Up With That series.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just delightful. And then there's a really weird, my favorite SNL cast member of all time. Sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes it's Norm, and then sometimes it's Will Forte. It's usually Will Forte, and then Norm is number 2. One of my favorite sketches is a sketch that Will Forte did where Jason Sudeikis is like this Southern man who wants to be an astronaut, and he's at NASA. And he's like, I would like to be an astronaut. Anyway, Sudeikis is hilarious. Everyone's hilarious in it. I think Amber Heard was in it. I can't even describe the sketch. It's so... I wish you could play it. I feel like the copyrights won't let us, but
yeah,
it's one of my favorite sketches ever.
If somebody is watching now and wants to hurry up and shoot their own parody of it and then send it to us, we'll be allowed to watch that. Yeah.
Yes, that'd be great.
We should do next telethon we should just do an hour where people find their favorite sketches and just read the transcript of it by themselves.
That's pretty funny, bro.
Yeah, just read it out loud. Try to perform it. That'd be fun.
I can tell you my favorite sketch of all time was Bad Doctor 2. The second time Will Ferrell was the bad doctor, and I think Molly Shannon was hosting, and he actually calls her Molly Shannon as like his secretary. But he's just a really bad doctor, and the two people, he's like the wife is pregnant, and he's just he tells him she's not pregnant, and that the heartbeat was the sounds of a Toto cover band from across the street. You know, and it's just so bizarre and weird. I love it. But the sketch that Saturday Night Live is what got me into comedy, where we just like fell in love with like what was happening. And I remember the moment was it was like their 15-year anniversary, I think, and they had it like during a Sunday, so I was able to watch it. And Phil Hartman was on, and the news anchor was Kevin Nealon, and they went to the All Drug Olympics. Do you guys remember the All Drug Olympics?
I remember that.
Yeah. And Phil Hartman was this Russian weightlifter who's about to lift 3 times what humans normally have, and then he just ripped his arms off. And it was so bloody and shocking. And like, and I'm like 10 and my brain blew open. Like, what am I seeing? And my dad laughed so hard.
You and I were watching that at the same time. I remember watching that. And
anniversary special?
Yeah. And feeling shocked by it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so what?
It was the first time. It was the first time I ever saw blood on Saturday Night Live, which made it, like, crazy.
I wish I could pinpoint what my favorite sketch of all time is. I know what I could say it is right this second, but it's hard. Damn, I can't. But so now I got 2 in my head. Like, okay, right now I want to say, as much as it took me a long time to get into them, but maybe Key and Peele might have my favorite sketch of all time. Or it's an SNL sketch. It might be The Census Taker.
Oh, yeah.
Census Taker's a great one.
Yeah, it might be that, but there's a Key and Peele sketch, Young Business. You guys seen that one?
I don't remember Young
Business. I've seen all the Key and Peels, but I don't know with Young Business.
He's on there's a rapper on like a Charlie Rose kind of show, Morty Jepsen show.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Young Business, youthful commerce.
Yeah. And he's trying to rip off the microphone. That
might be my favorite sketch of all time. I think that's a perfect sketch. Oh, and then do Mr. Bean bits count as sketches?
I think so.
Shit.
I don't know. I didn't watch enough Mr. Bean, but I'll throw in there for me another one that made me like altered what I thought was comedy was like Kids in the Hall and seeing Canadian comedy.
Oh yeah.
And the one sketch to me was Actually, my two favorite of theirs is the one where Dave, one of the Daves is on trial for eating. He's a cannibal. He's a sole survivor of a 80-minute delay, on the tarmac.
Oh yeah.
And his defense was like, I've never been a cannibal before, so like a chocolate box, like you take a bite of every one.
Yeah.
And the other one I really love of theirs was just I think it's just so well written and so smart is the sarcastic guy at a bar. I mean, at a party. He has a disease where his voice is sarcastic.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, this is my real voice. You know, he can't get out of it.
That's a great sketch.
So it's so true. You can't get out of it. You're fucked if you say anything sarcastic.
Kids in the Hall is interesting because it has so many things in it that I love, but then there are things in it that I kind of hate.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything with that character Darryl. Do you remember that? Like he was like an artsy prick. I couldn't stand. And I know that they're making fun of that, but I don't know. I just like
it was too
annoying.
Real.
Yeah,
it was too annoying. It's rough. It was rough.
I've been wanting to revisit the Upright Citizens Brigade TV show. I remember loving that show, but
dude, they have some really smart, good ones, man.
Yeah, I'm not even.
And they were similar.
Show also. Oh my god.
That I was about to say. Yeah, they were the first kind of sketch show to play with the format too of like transitions, like Mr. Show. You know, Mr. Show and UCB. The UCB I think kind of tried to do a Harold in a weird way, but they had that great one with muffins. You ever see the muffins, like Happy Time muffins? And they were all miserable things, like a homeless guy peeing on an ATM machine and shit like that. And they were all horrible things, but their justification was you eat it and you accept it into your body, and then you take it and you pass it through you, and all these horrible things. So he starts getting like an abusive father muffin, and very funny.
I was just thinking about sketch comedy this week and why it is, maybe because I was watching SNL, why it is that form. I've never really done any sketch. I think I did one sketch show once with Jeff Grimwood. But I've never really done much sketch, and I can't understand why that form has had a hold on me my whole life. Like Astronomy Club had a bunch of great sketches on that show. This show was great.
Astronomy Club?
Oh yeah, they're a bunch of improvisers who are basically like my generation. Like people who started around 2010, a little before, a little after 2010. I think Keisha's always kind of older.
Where are they from?
They're from New York. They're probably a bunch of people you know. Shawtane Bowen, what's his name? James III, Keisha Zoller, Caroline Martin, and some other people.
Okay.
Lex doesn't have American Netflix over in Thailand, but I bet it's on there.
Crap.
Well, I got a VPN. What's it called again?
Astronomy Club.
Okay. And it's on Netflix?
Yeah. These are all just like New York improvisers, just people like James III and I used to clean toilets at the pit.
Man, you know what? I got so disconnected. There was a time when I moved to California that I got so disconnected from the comedy world. I just went into like, hippie world. I went on my walking the desert kind of shit. That's when I was really into like Sons of Anarchy TV show and really horrible date drama,
Did you see anything cool in the desert though? Any
I saw what I thought looked like two 20-foot tall, like Alex Gray paintings fucking.
What in the world?
You've told me this before.
Who's Alex Gray?
Alex Gray is this great artist. He lives in upstate New York, but he does a lot of like DMT type paintings or, psychedelic paintings. And it was, so that was good.
And so you thought you saw actual canvases having sex? Or
no. It was just the best way I could say, if I ever I've seen two otherworldly things while on drugs. And that was one of them was I took I went to the desert with my girlfriend to see, and we were going to jokingly talk about seeing our spirit animals and stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was kind of like that. If you look at any one of those paintings, you see how they're kind of boxy, but the actual visual, so I could describe in the physical world, it wasn't glowing like that. It looked more like, the squiggly eye, when you see squiggly things in your eyes?
Yeah.
That little like dead cell that's floating around. You kind of, once you focus on it, it starts drifting a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then, right? So it was kind of like that. That's how they kind of like looked, but they were in a specific area. Like if I looked this way or that way or wherever I looked, they were in one specific spot, right? And it kind of looked like they were bumping uglies.
Wow.
Did you run or just stand there and stare?
I was laying on a hot stone and just I was just enjoying the visual, and I was trying to remember it as much as I could and like describe what I was, like kind of giving it words so I could say it when I was not on drugs. And then I think I got distracted, and when from like looking, make sure my girlfriend was around or something like that. And when I looked back, they were gone. And then I had like a really overwhelming sense of peace, and that was nice. But then that's the most trippy thing. I like walked in on the room of like ancestral gods fucking, and I'm like, oh, sorry, you guys. I didn't know you guys. I didn't see the sock on the door.
What was I just thinking about? Anya and I have been watching Wonder Years because I want to watch a new series, but we're watching the old one, the original.
How many seasons is the old one? It seems like a lot of TV.
Like 7 or between 7 and 9.
My God, that's a lot of episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did say the Wonder Years. They did say Wonder Years.
True.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the hell out of it, man. I forgot. Like you watch that show, you keep thinking it's gonna jump the shark. You're like, it can't be this good every single time.
Right.
And it keeps being that good. I don't get it.
Season 7, Fonzie shows up and actually jumps the shark.
It might not. It might jump the shark for you. We'll see. I don't know. It'll be an ongoing update.
It's so weird that Fred Savage had the show, and then because my favorite sitcom of all time is Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
It's so weird that then his brother came along and had the exact same genre of show.
Right.
Of the same quality. That's wild. Do you ever think of any other instance like that?
Yeah, the Roosevelts. We had 2 presidents that were like cousins.
Holy moly.
I mean, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Were they both really good presidents?
Or like King Henry VIII, to stay in politics. Like he was like the 8th of them.
We also had a father and son president, which is like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, weird. That's weird, huh?
I feel like even if you're a Republican, why aren't you be like, oh, this guy's son? Like, can't we find somebody else? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I always feel like we're like, oh, why would we have their kid do it? But I also think like, who's gonna know the thing better than somebody's kid? The parent probably told them everything about it, and if the kid's interested in it, they are the closest to the most information.
It's somewhat true, except that they're not. Yeah, I'm gonna get political, but they're not. They're showing how to exploit it. Like, I don't know. Once you see a public office figure leave the place super, super rich like they do, then like their kids should not be able to exploit the system. They did not learn the good things.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I can't get into politics. I'm just talking about like, because we never object to it about like plumbing.
Yeah.
Like you can't have a plumbing business. Your dad had one. It's like, yeah, that's why I have one. That's all we know is plumbing. And
you just
like
this family lays pipes. That's what we do.
We lay pipes. And we're always like surprised that we're like, there's no way this kid could be any good. It's like I grew up watching my dad deliver mail. Like if I went to deliver mail, I'd be fucking great at it. I watched my dad do it. I have a taste for it. I know what it takes. I know what it feels like. I know the ins and outs of it. I know I'm already comfortable in the atmosphere. Like, you know, like I was wondered about that. I go back to like what we were talking about earlier. What were we talking about? Oh, the Vax card thing. Like, I do feel like in our culture in general, and it's probably warranted, but we have such a culture of distrust. We distrust each other. We distrust that there's somebody, whoever's they are, they're coming to, like, we for some reason we're not trusting, and that might be the right way to be, but it is fascinating to me that we're like, something's up, you know.
I feel like I honestly question if it's not our natural state. I think that we are naturally trusting people, and we're put in and I think that the powers that be, we're prone to avoid fear, right? We're prone, like, that's natural, to avoid pain. So like, we're very fearful, and so we're really good at pointing out others and like all that other shit, you know? And so like news just naturally evolved to a thing where it like sells fear, and politics sell fear, and control sells fear. Mm-hmm. It's a very easy way to control people. But our natural tendency is to trust. And we're moving towards a place where they're teaching us like not to trust everybody.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think, and maybe this isn't true, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because it seems like so much of our pop culture is revolved around like not trusting. I mean, it's like Captain America finds out S.H.I.E.L.D. is Hydra. You know, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, what a disappointment.
Right. But does pop culture reflect the reality that nobody is trustworthy, or is it like, are we? I mean, I think we're fed that kind of notion.
You know, one of the things that I recently read about was how like the FBI, somebody did like an internal investigation on the FBI and their fight against terrorism. And it's like, the things that they stopped were usually the things that they had started too. Like they started terrorist plots to see if they could fish in people. And they basically were just entrapping people who would never have really ever done anything, you know?
Oh, right.
And it's like, what the fuck? It's cartoonish. I don't even have a joke for it because I feel like it's such a joke already.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably because the FBI is so good at setting up fake opportunities that it's like, hey, this isn't going to go wrong, and it's going to get you a lot of money, and it's probably not like a real terrorist thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, this might fuck up, or we might get caught. But the fake FBI guy is just like,
well, like the one they highlighted was like these guys, whatever they were plotting to blow up, like they never actually ever suggested it. It was just like the FBI, the whole path through this whole plot was all constructed by, you know, the FBI and encouraging these guys to do it the whole time. Yeah. It was like they recruited for Al-Qaeda, but they were a lone cell in Minnesota or whatever.
Yeah. They were just going to drive the getaway car.
Yeah.
And the FBI
at the end, the FBI was like, no, you have to run in with the bomb, and we're going to drive away with the car. And they're like, what? Can we talk to the real FBI now? What's going on?
One thing I've been noticing is I watch a lot of interviews all the time, but I see interviews in like even celebrities, like famous athletes, famous actors, famous artists. They also talk about like they this is what they want. This is what they're trying to program us with. Like, I'm always like, who is that? What is the top of this thing?
Right.
Because I feel like even the richest people are probably like, that's what they want. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the composite man.
What?
It's the composite man. And so there's a whole thing that I've been reading about watching like trading currency, right? Watching trades of like the stock markets and the ebbs and flows of it going up.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this concept of the composite man, which is all the other people staring in front of the computer doing exactly what I'm doing. And they're all trying to guess what I am doing, including all the other people what they're doing and how they should react or try to get ahead of all of us. And so we all assume that everybody's doing something shitty, like China's making some kind of bat flu. And they're like, all right, well, we can't do it in America, but we'll send some money over there. You know, like we're going to get included, like you're going to get included in some shadiness. All right, everybody knows that this is about to drop. So let me sell my shit now. And then everybody sells their shit now. At the same time, it's like, oh, it just dropped. And then, you know, it's like it's literally like you said, it's, who said it, Sean, about like the chicken or the egg. It's this weird fulfillment of like future, like profit. What's the word? There's a word for that. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh,
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking about the same thing, but this reminds me of like being at any age and going to like a Walmart and seeing people like, I'm gonna get in the line and I'm gonna go get this and then okay, this is the shortest. Like, even when I find myself like trying to get into the shortest line, why? I'm always thinking like for the 12 minutes that I'm gonna drive home so I can watch YouTube videos for 12 minutes longer. Like, what am I trying to get out of here first for? For what? And I wish I could do some sort of thing where I see that happening and like, of course, some people have really good reasons. My wife is in labor. I got to go pick up my kid. And then other people, I feel like I would like to ask people, you want to find the shortest line and get out of here as quick as possible. Why? And just see what the answers are. Some of the answers will be great. And I bet some people will be like, I really don't know.
Yeah. You should do a show where you just interview people waiting in lines.
I would love to. That would be a great show, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I would like that. Listen, I think, how about, I'm going to say, if we're on time credit, then I feel like if I eat a toaster, like if I eat a Pop-Tart and some guy eats a toaster strudel, then I'm allowed to go on the line that moves quicker because you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm saving up time, like if I'm that time conscious, and I'm eating instant oatmeal instead of like slow cooked, oatmeal. Does that make sense? Or maybe the opposite. Like if I'm eating instant oatmeal, then I'm sacrificing and I have to wait on the long line.
But what are you going to do with the time saved that you didn't? Let's say you get to the shortest line, you get out there faster. What are you going to do immediately after that?
Yeah. What am I doing with like the things that if I microwave everything and eat instant oatmeal and instant hot chocolate, what am I doing? What am I doing with the time? I don't know. I find the more time I have, the more time I waste. Ugh. I just want to go home and judge myself and others. That's what I'll usually do with that time.
Oh man. Yeah, I just always, it's not I get the impulse because we're human beings. Part of what we are is competitive. And part of, I don't even know. I don't know what it is. I'm always interested in asking, why do we want this thing and we're fighting for this thing? Why? What is it that we want out of this? And like trying to get like comedy and acting school get you into that. It's like asking yourself, did I ever tell you guys, this is one of my favorite stories about the great Sean Taylor from the Magnet, from JV. This is one of my favorite stories. So it was when he was coaching my practice team before you started coaching, Sean. Mm-hmm. Before Sean Wiggins started coaching, Sean Taylor. And we had a guy on our team named Marshall, who I haven't heard from in years. I think he moved back to Baltimore and had a baby. But he was a young improviser. He was on the team. And, Sean Taylor is very interesting because he's like, I always feel like he's like Ron Howard or Charlie Brown, but with like some strange dark intensity inside of it. Like,
sure.
So and innocent, but he has this like center of not evil, but intensity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not naive.
Yeah, he seems naive, but he has this intensity, right? So we're doing this scene and we're on a ship or something, and then we're doing the scene and it's going fine, and all of a sudden Marshall trips on something, but he like fake trips. He trips on something that wasn't there. He didn't trip on, he didn't trip involuntarily. He just made himself trip for the scene. And then Sean Taylor is watching and he goes, stop. Marshall, what was that? And then Marshall goes, we're on a ship. So kind of thought like maybe there was like a rope or something was laying on the ground. And I tripped on it. And then Sean Taylor goes, why? I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. So that's what I mean. It's like when I want to go into the supermarket, I just want to ask people like, you want to get out of here faster, but just tell me why.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. I'm not saying I'm not demanding. Nobody has to talk to me or anything, but I wish I could have that opportunity to ask people, why do you want to get out of here faster?
How many people will be honest? Do you guys ever get on a line like, I do know I do this, is I will look at who's in front of me, not just items, but I will judge the person. I will judge them in front of me, and I'll go, this person doesn't have their shit together. Maybe even based off of their items or how they're putting it onto especially if they're already putting stuff on, and I'm like, what are they doing? If they're completely disorganized, I don't want to be around it.
I think the anger of it is rooted in some sort of like, because if we are competitive, I think we don't like being in the line that's not moving, because if we're seeing people in lines that are moving, we're like jealous of that or something.
Oh my God. It's like we're making an analogy between that and like life. Like these people are beating me. These people are getting ahead of me.
Yeah.
I'm shitty. I think when I sit in a car, like, and I want to jump lanes, I actually judge myself harshly. Like, why did I even switch lanes? Like I get mad at myself for that.
I'll do
why did
that
I pick this lane?
Well, sometimes just the act of changing the lane is like fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like turning the wheel and feeling the car follow is just like, I don't know, sometimes it's just fun.
And that might be some of it too, of like trying to get out fast. It's like, this is just a fun game I like to play with myself. Let me see if I can get out of here fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gamifying stuff is fun. We should do that more often.
Let's ask Jason, because he just had dental surgery yesterday. How long did you have to wait in the waiting room before you went into and was it fun or horrible? Also, you were in pain.
I was in pain. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I only had to wait in the waiting room for as long as I filled out. It took to fill out the paperwork. As soon as I filled out the paperwork, they're like, "You ready?" And then they took me in there and put that huge needle into the back of my jaw.
Wow.
And that really hurt. And I'm like, oh. And then like maybe 5 minutes like later, this Indian doctor with a big head wrap comes in, and he's like, you all numbed up? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. Within like 3 minutes, he had like both teeth that I had to get out, out of my face.
Oh.
And I'm like, you're done? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't have to wait that long.
He's good.
What if anytime you got hurt really bad, you heard like a sitcom? Oh.
That'd be great.
I think people do that though, in some ways. Like if you see somebody slip, somebody else will go, I don't know, people will make a noise that just isn't helpful.
I usually do. I usually go,
yeah,
or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That reminds me of I gotta say, I feel not ashamed about it, but I'm slowly over the last 3 years been getting back into Dane Cook. Can't help it, man.
Okay.
Such a great interview guest, and then that makes me want to go back and listen to his comedy. But he has that bit about getting hit, seeing somebody get hit by a car.
Ooh.
And they get hit and their shoes immediately fly off and then they immediately pop back
and his shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a great bit.
I like Dane Cook. I'm a fan. I thought he's a silly fucker.
That's
very cool.
narrative is such a strong and powerful thing. Like, and maybe it's not even always narrative. Maybe it's just like where something exists in your mind. Dane Cook, Wyclef, Sinbad, Will Smith are people that I love dearly at a certain point in my life, and then let them go as passe, and now have come back around to like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Why did I ever let this go?
In
I'm
some
glad you
ways,
came back.
in some ways, I would rather see a Sinbad music show than a stand-up show because he plays music as well. Do you know he plays with a band?
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to see that more than seeing him perform comedy live, just because I could easily watch old Sinbad clips. I mean,
You know what though?
I'm sure I can find.
Sinbad doesn't write he doesn't write out his shows. He improvises his whole show. Every show is a new show.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a great story that Norm Macdonald would always tell. You guys heard this story about Sinbad?
I don't think so.
He said when he was like maybe less than a year in the comedy, or maybe a year, maybe 2 years, whatever. It's early in his comedy career, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
He leaves Canada and goes to LA to do like a comedy festival or something. And he doesn't know anybody, and he's gonna do like his tightly constructed 20 minutes that he's done.
Yeah.
And he shows up, he doesn't know anybody, and he meets a young Sinbad.
Wow.
And Sinbad's like, hey man, let's hang out. Let's go to I gotta go to the store, I gotta buy some socks. I'm out of socks. So they go to this department store and they walk in and they don't see anybody. So then they like ring a bell, they're like, excuse me, and then like a minute later, somebody comes out and sells Sinbad his socks.
Yeah.
So then later that night they're doing the show and Norm does his set and it's like very tightly written, like with the jokes he's been working on for years that really work for him.
All
and
nervous.
And he has like a pretty good show.
Yeah.
And then like he doesn't kill, but he has like a strong show.
Yeah.
And then Sinbad comes out there and he goes, what's going on? You go to the store for socks. They're not there. They don't have the socks. And then the crowd just explodes.
Wow.
And Norm said he learned from Sinbad that day, like how to do comedies. Like I need to be more alive up there. I need to be more loose.
It's funny because I wouldn't call Norm Macdonald as being loose on stage or alive.
Yeah.
Did you ever see him early on?
Before that.
Early on, he's pretty rigid. He's pretty rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wears big oversized suit jacket.
Yeah. That's so funny. I love to hear when there's two comedians who
seem so foreign to each other.
Exactly. Yes. Anya's favorite comic is Cat Williams.
Yeah. That's weird. I was about to say if Cat Williams hung out with I don't know.
Michael Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. But the beautiful thing about comedy is that probably does happen more often than we think.
Dude, I was listening to an old radio clip of when Opie and Anthony had Patrice O'Neill in the room with Mike Birbiglia.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And seeing those two guys, they knew each other. They respected each other.
Yeah.
Birbiglia snapped back at O'Neill a couple times. And there were a couple times where O'Neill was, going misogynistic, where Birbiglia was still funny, but didn't, cross any lines. Like, it was interesting. It was pretty dope,
Yeah, that's so funny how all these guys even come up together. Like, who was just talking about hanging out with? Somebody was talking about hanging out with Dave Chappelle when they were young. Who was it? It was somebody who felt like very different than him. Dane. It was Dane Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Who also came up with Patrice and came up with Bill Burr. And all those guys, Patrice and Burr seem pretty close, but then next to Dane, they seem so different. And then each of them seemed different than Gary Goldman. And they all
Yeah.
Are those guys all from Boston? Is Gary Goldman from Boston too?
Wow.
Joe Rogan was in that group too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have been a little older than them, but yeah, he came out of that same spot. And then there's people who weren't even from Boston who spent time there. Like I know Marin was like that, and maybe Sandler spent some time in Boston. I could be wrong.
I could picture Adam Sandler hanging out in Boston. I could picture that.
Yeah, he's from New Hampshire. I mean, he was born in Brooklyn, but I think he was raised a lot in New Hampshire. But
I think you're right.
that whole thing.
But I think he got down because I remember hearing I think Chris Rock was the one who used to drive them around to do spots. Him and Sandler and some of those other guys in Brooklyn.
There's a lot of stories like that. Kevin Hart came up with Big J Okerson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, isn't that funny? It's comedy is beautiful that way, man. How can
It's a smaller world than you expect.
Yeah.
Even meeting people out here. Some of the people who come through here, I get to meet. It's pretty dope.
Hey Lex, can I ask you a question? Do you guys do the whole daylight savings time on your side of the world? No.
No, from my understanding, only America does it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We're not doing it this year. I guess
What?
we're taking we're taking the rest of the year off.
We are?
They said that November 7th to what is it, March 22nd is when the 2022 is when the DTS is gonna kick back in, I think. Look it up. I swear to God, I was just reading this.
Jason, is this a prank? Be honest with us. Are you fucking with
this
us?
is not a prank. This is not a prank. Look it up.
You guys aren't even on the same time now. Like you guys are actually in because I keep joining. I'm an hour. I should be 12 hours behind you guys, but I'm 11 hours or 11 ahead of you.
Does that mean it's going to be for us here in the States? Does that mean that it's not going to get dark super early? Like we're going to get an extra.
It's going to stay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're not going to lose that hour of sleep.
I'm going to fall back.
Yes, I'm looking it up right now. Daylight Savings Time 2021. Yeah, it says it's supposed to happen Sunday, November 7th. But
they say heart attacks go up by 25% the day after.
Yeah,
the next
heart
day.
attacks, strokes, car accidents, all of this stuff. So they're going to get rid of it for the rest of this year.
Misplacing your wallet, that happens more. It's got to.
Oh,
I just walked into this room. That kind of stuff.
I
just put it down. I just saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a good thing that'll be a side effect of daylight savings time? What if freestyle rappers rap for longer than they ever have? More people
like overtime is like really overtime.
Oh yeah.
And like everybody goes, hey, what if they gave you the extra hour yourself? Like you got an extra hour and you get to, instead of we all do it, you could choose at any time when you get to use your daylight savings hour.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're late for an event or something, you can be like, here's my hour.
That'd be great.
I like it.
I just had this is a very, very stupid, I don't even know if it's a joke, but I just thought about the person who invented overtime. Mm-hmm. They're probably working at a factory or something, and they're like, hey, man, we're going overtime. Hold on.
Hold on.
It sounds like either a setup or a punchline, but it's not both.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just thinking if Ralph ever did the show about talking to people online waiting, and the guy was like, and you asked him like, why are you going so quick? Why did you need to go on this line so quick? And he was like, dude, I'm in the middle of my daylight savings time hour. He was trying to spend his daylight savings time hour efficiently.
That's wanting to get ahead. I'm trying to think. What would it be for? I wonder what life is like for somebody who's so tightly scheduled that they only have, like, what always blows my mind. Anya does this a lot. Is like when people are like, okay, the train is supposed to be there. I've done it. I've used it before, but sometimes I can't wrap my mind. Like the train is going to be there at 10:24. So if I'm there at 10:23, I should be good. The precision freaks me out.
Oh yeah. Hey, did you ever? So this whole concept of like carrying an hour over for when you need it, it makes me think about when I was in grade school. There was a time where the principal was like, we're going to do a school-wide contest and we're going to choose a student to be principal for the day. Did you ever do this or hear about this happening?
No.
I've seen it on TV shows.
Yeah, I feel like it was a trend or something. Like, I feel like our school heard about other schools doing it. So we're like, we're going to do it too. So we got super excited about like what it was going to be like. And I remember us as students conspiring about like, let's figure out what needs to be done by this principal, because we thought that they were going to get power for a day.
Yeah, true democracy.
Right.
You guys.
So we were like, oh, maybe we can get a longer lunch period. Maybe we can, you know what I mean? We really thought. And then the school caught wind that we were like talking about planning. And then they were like, oh, no. It's not, it's just a title. You get to read the morning announcements or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And everyone was disappointed. And so they didn't go through with it because like nobody wanted it.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
You guys what's this trope? Tell me if you ever experienced something like this when you were a kid. What's this trope in the high school shows where you have the bullies picking on the nerd, and then the teacher comes up and the bully puts the arm around the nerd? It's like, hey, we're cool, we're just hanging out. And then the nerd always complies. He's like, yeah, everything's cool to the principal. And it's like, I would be like, no, this guy's picking on me. Suspend him.
Right.
Why would you
get stitches, man? Snitches get stitches.
Well, I won't get him today. You'll be suspended. You're not going to give me stitches in front. What I would do is I would snitch on you right there, and then I would make sure I'm with the principal for the next hour.
Yeah.
So you'd snitch on him, and then you'd use your daylight savings time hour
to go back to before it happened. But then he's still in trouble, and he can't remember why. He's like,
I think the inclination to side with the bully happens because in that moment you maybe think, oh, maybe the bully will think I'm cool, I guess.
Oh. Maybe you think they really mean it, like they're really like, no, we're friends now.
Right.
Like they'll appreciate that you didn't sell them out. Doesn't ever seem to work out. I think it's a trope from, how about this, that back in the day, when it happened like that, and a bully's picking on a kid, and the teacher comes in and is like, hey, you guys stop what you're doing. He's like, no, this kid was trying to kick the shit out of me. And he's like, nah, it was just stop your roughhousing, and they just didn't even listen to you.
Oh, wow. I just keep thinking about what I would do to make them listen to me. I would just writhe in pain. Oh,
One of my
Nothing
favorite
even happened.
One of my favorite teachers in high school, he was a geometry teacher, and he was a smoker, but he would also catch kids smoking. Like he would use his lunch hour to like walk around the school and find kids and find kids smoking and then give them demerits. And so one time, and he was also,
it was called getting free cigarettes, Sean. He was taking these kids cigarettes.
Well, he was a funny teacher too. He was good at teaching geometry. I actually liked geometry because of him. But one day somebody asked him, hey, Mr. Kobe, I see you smoking. Why are you spending your lunch hour busting smokers? And it's like, isn't that hypocritical? And the teacher said, no, because it's fun. Which was like, it made me like him even more. And I wasn't a smoker, but I was on the side of the other students. But then when he said, oh, it's fun catching you guys, it's a game, I was like, man, this guy is cool.
Yeah. It is cool.
It's one of the best things I've ever heard. That's so good.
Yeah,
Also,
it made me think that if I were a teacher, I probably would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'd still be fun and cool.
My best friend, Bamak, he's a teacher, and he'll call me sometimes when he's in class with students, and he just yells at them. But he's that kind of teacher where you can yell at his students, but you can tell they're not really afraid of him.
Oh yeah.
You know, and yeah, that's really a skill to be able to do that. Also, Sean, can you show us that? I love the color of that sweatshirt. What's on the front of it? It's like a Christmas shirt.
Oh, this is.
I noticed that too before. I love
this
it.
is an old Bad Film Fest.
Oh yeah,
That's
sweatshirt.
amazing.
It's
Where'd
a
you get that
sweatshirt.
made?
I don't. It's a sweatshirt that's supposed to look like a bad holiday sweater.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Where did you get that made? It's so good. I want one of those. Do you have any more of them?
I don't know. They were up on the Bad Film Fest website for a while. They might still be up there. I don't know.
Oh shoot, I want one.
Yeah, I'll look.
Ooh, boys, I'm a little.
When I was teaching these Thai kids, every once in a while, I would do a yelling Chris Farley impersonation that these kids had never seen before.
Yeah.
And it would always they're a lot more skittish than American kids. Like they'll literally, like gasp and get teacher, you scare me. But it would always take a good 10 seconds, which is a long time when you're yelling at a kid to for them to realize that I'm just fucking around.
You do go to different communities and find. I mean, most kids are innocent, but you go to communities and find kids that are truly naive and innocent. It's really fascinating,
Yeah. Sometimes I almost get scared for them, where I'm just like, oh man, your parents are sheltering you too much.
Man. Yeah.
And then I take their lunch money.
That's why there should be a summer camp and the parents are aware of this, but it's a summer camp that is manufactured for it's all fun and going great, but then 3 days into it, something bad happens.
Yeah,
but it's like a life or death thing, like an axe murderer is chasing kids around, but it's fake. But you're putting your kids in a life and death situation. It's cruel, but it's I don't know. I feel like you would.
It's pushing them out of the nest.
Yeah, I think
the equivalent of sink or swim, fly, bird, fly.
Kids grow in traumatic situations, so it's a fake traumatic situation, I guess.
Controlled.
Right.
A controlled traumatic situation. Yeah.
Yeah. It's how certain cultures would it's okay, you're gonna be you're a boy, but we're gonna send you into the forest by yourself, and you have to live for a weekend and then come back and now you're a man, that kind of thing.
Vision quest.
Yeah.
And a transitional ritual into adulthood.
Right.
That reminds me of, it's not my favorite sketch, but one of my favorite moments ever in a sketch. It's when Dave Chappelle has the prank show Zapped. You've been zapped. And he tells these two children that their parents died. He's a doctor. He tells the children that their parents died in an accident or something. And the children start crying bitterly. And then later on, a few minutes later, the parents come out. And then the children look up and they're so bewildered. And they look up at the doctor, who's Dave Chappelle, and they go, why did you do this to us?
Why would you do this, mister? Why would you do this, mister?
Yeah, he's like, you've been zapped. It's what a genuine, earnest question. Why did you do this to us?
One of my old, making me think of Dane Cook. He had I love the image too, because it's not just a joke. It's funny, but he said about making memories for kids. And he says just to walk up to a kid and just take their ice cream or something like that, or take a lick of their ice cream. And then you just say, you remember me forever.
Yeah.
That's one. That's
That
why
reminds me of a JB Smoove bit. JB Smoove has one stand-up special I know of, which is like, it's a little too long, but it's one of the best stand-up specials ever. But not many people know it. It's called "That's How I Do's It." And I actually don't know if this bit is on that special, but he says, he's like, you got to try out different women's perfumes to know what they smell like. And he's like, don't even smell a woman. Just walk up, just in the street. It's when you see a woman, just walk up to her, just lick her face, and then keep walking. I just like the fact that the character immediately resets each time back to being happy.
Right.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think I knew JB Smoove was a stand-up comedian. I think I just knew him as an actor.
Oh, that's fair. He's a stand-up. He's like one of the most clowny stand-ups that I can think of. Like,
Clowny.
Yeah, he does a lot. It's definitely very physical, and it's very clown. It feels like he's definitely talking to the audience a lot. He's like sometimes very antagonistic, but in a very stupid way.
Yeah.
Like, protect your damn lady. Hey, playboy, protect your damn lady.
I mean, I can see it now. He's hilarious on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's a really funny guy. Yeah, I would like to see him now. I wonder what
I've always known him as a stand-up, but I didn't know how beloved he was, like how long he had been doing it, or how like respected he is until he finally started getting on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
He's been around for a while.
He's been on, been around the grip.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph, what did you do with your van? What happened to it after you guys finished your road trip?
The van?
Yeah.
We just sold it, which is why we have this as a memento. It's not even the same kind of van, but
I wish I would have known, because I probably would have bought it.
Yeah, I'm sad. It didn't run well, you know. It couldn't. We didn't. If it could have run well, we weren't the people to get it back into shape. It's just too time intensive and too cash intensive. So, I mean, you'd be like, these things, man, like they can hold so much stuff. Like we lived in that thing for 6 months, easy. It was not hard, especially once we put a power source in there. It was easy. It was easy to live in there.
What do you think's gonna I mean, it seems like more and more people are doing that. Is that great? Like, and America is so big, man. I wonder if there's gonna be just this culture of nomads that just drift. It'll just be more and more the norm.
That movie Nomadland came out right as we started our tour with Frances McDormand.
Yeah, I had no interest in that movie, but I've heard multiple good things about it. I might watch it.
We watched the first half of it, and it was pretty interesting. It was, you know, what you imagine a Frances McDormand movie to be.
Yeah,
she's like tough and scrappy, and has a quiet, smoldering power and a quirkiness. And
yeah,
she, you know, she's having a road trip, and she meets young men and older men, and has interesting experiences, and then gets sick and is alone and cries and travels and sees beautiful vistas and has to find places. Figure out how to use the bathroom or something. I don't know. It's what you expect it to be.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot. We didn't get to the end. Maybe there was some sort of revelation at the end that we didn't see.
I think
there's a great documentary called Van Life. #Van Life. You can watch free on YouTube.
I think Anya and I want to take, when we have time, maybe next year, we want to take a bunch of the footage that we have from our tour and turn it into a little documentary short.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Is it all cell phone video, or did you have like a video camera?
No, it's all cheap cell phone video.
Yeah, that still works.
Yeah, but I think it'd be cool just as an interesting point of view of the pandemic.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's hard to know
Well,
when.
once you start editing, maybe it'll start telling you a narrative. Once you start editing, maybe it'll start telling you a narrative. It'll see what if you have the footage. It might be to start carving away at it.
Yeah, we just have a bunch of it and don't know what to do with it, and maybe we could just interview each other or do an interview in there, to string it together or something. I don't know. It's hard to know. Anya made a documentary about 2.5 years ago about her trip to Russia that she finished, but we haven't done anything with it yet. It's really nice, little short.
Mm-hmm.
Who watches those? Do people watch them? You think?
I would, depending
Yeah.
on the length and if it's not too if
Boring.
it's the interesting. I mean, no, because there's interesting and then there's like if it gets an over length and everything like that, you don't want to it's just something that you got to invest your time in. Like the 15 to 20 minute range would be ideal.
Yeah, that's about what it is.
Anya's likable, so as long as there's a bit of a narrative involved, then
Yeah.
it'll be worth watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun. She really worked a long time editing it down to making it watchable and interesting, and it's nice. I'm gonna figure out.
That feels so good. I'm watching you scratch your beard with the fork, and I'm like, oh, that probably feels so good right now.
That's pretty good. I don't even know if somebody's eating with this thing.
Well, I'm gonna say that in all likelihood, someone has eaten with that. Because why would a fork just be laying somewhere?
It's plastic, so it probably came with something.
Could have come with something and it was spilled out, but it wasn't.
That's true. When those times I do order food, I usually, and if I'm ordering food for taking it home, if I'm ordering takeout, I will specifically ask for no plasticware because I don't need it. Because not only do I not need it, if I'm going home, I don't want to eat with a plastic fork. I've got forks that just feel nicer.
It's never occurred to me to do that, and I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes the restaurant people are shocked that I don't want a plastic fork.
This guy's gonna eat it with his hands.
Yeah.
Could you do that same move? Could you be I'll be you and you be a restaurant worker, and I'm gonna just tell you I don't want to fork.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, my order's ready. Could you do me a favor? No forks, please.
Okay. That was not good.
Hey, wait, I'm the guy behind Ralph in the line.
Yeah.
Can I have his?
Absolutely.
That's so great.
Thank you. As confused as you are about Ralph not wanting him, how quickly you were to let me have his. It's like problem resolved.
Well, because in those instances, it always feels like the restaurant is offended that I don't want their plasticware. They seem offended.
Yeah.
It's like when I think I
should
told
say
you,
thank you. They should say thank you.
I think I told you this, Ralph, the other day, or I forget who I was telling this to, but I noticed that whenever I order tacos from taco trucks, and then they ask me if I want hot sauce, and I say yes, they always immediately get excited.
Really?
They're like happy that I want hot sauce.
Well, my mom, because my mom is white, but I grew up I always say Puerto Rican because she cooked Puerto Rican food too, and I was around that side of the family more.
Yeah.
But when she'd go into a bodega in Brentwood, they were so excited to see her because she's a white woman, just ordering, whatever ingredients she needed. They loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Because most of us Latinos are not involved in the conversation. There's no white or they don't go what it's not white or black thing. Nobody ever goes. It's we're just happy that you like hot sauce. We're like, nice. All right, we're bringing something to the table.
It's funny, Lex. I can relate when you say that your mom is white. Not only was my mom white, my mom was Ron White. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But I really wanted to say it.
It's great. It made me laugh.
Oh no, my mom was not white, but if she was, I'd want her to be Ron White. I would like to see Ron White and drag play a woman, but just not do anything. Just be in the clothes and be Ron White. That'd be awesome.
Have a whiskey and a cigar.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Hey, do you guys? I read something interesting this morning that spiders can have arachnophobia themselves.
No way.
This is from a scientific article.
Of other species of spiders or of its own species?
Of other species of spiders and its own species.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's kind of like agoraphobia in humans. You know what I mean? Like humans are like, oh, I don't want to go out. Spiders are like, I don't want to see other spiders. Anyways.
Here. I have the article right here. I can show you.
Sure, let's see it.
I feel like that guy was the scientist who figured that out was so scared of spiders that he was always getting made fun of. Yeah. And then he proved that even spiders are scared of spiders.
Yeah.
Just to let
I don't particularly think of myself as scared of spiders, but I also wouldn't want a tarantula crawling on me. Like, you know how if, you know, when like animal experts are on a show and it's just like they put the tarantula on the host, like I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'd be open to it, but if I knew it was happening, like I know if a spider was on my shoulder and I didn't know it was happening, I'm bugging out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, spiders can have an arachnophobia. That's what oh, is that NPR? Wow, NPR.
This is NPR.org. Yeah.
You know what the scientific test that they did was they would make a spider walk down a long hallway, and halfway through the hallway there was a mirror on one side of the hallway, and all the other spiders as they walked down the hallway, they went once they got to this, once they saw the mirror there.
Yeah.
Like, yep, we got another one. 89%.
It is weird because I don't know how you would test for this. I mean, I guess they talk about how they test for it, but it also, for a while, I've been wanting to find an expert in tardigrades to come on the show, because I really want to find out like
what's going on.
Well, I want to find out like what are they like what is their behaviors, like do they seem like chill animals or are they
social?
Yeah.
It's
like all we know about them is that we can't kill them, but like what are they like?
Hey, you know how you see a tardigrade look in when you're looking through the super microscope and they're kind of translucent? That's kind of how the Alex Gray paintings were in the the desert.
What if Spider-Man was afraid of spiders? Also,
he might have been.
That'd be a twist.
What if Superman was afraid of building maintenance men? Just afraid of other supers.
I get it.
I worked hard on that.
That was so rough. That's so rough for me. For some reason, I don't know why that hit me so wrong, but it just burns. It burns.
I think Lex, it hit you rough because there was something in Lex's voice, or I mean in Ralph's voice, that even he didn't like it while he was.
I just wanted it to work so badly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hate myself in the morning for this, but I'm doing it.
Are you guys doing anything? Are you guys doing anything for Halloween? I don't think I'm doing anything, really.
I'm hosting karaoke tonight.
Oh, where at?
At Pine Box Rock Shop.
I know that place.
Yeah.
Is it? Are people wearing costumes?
I'm sure they are, and I have to figure out one because I don't really like Halloween.
Oh. Well,
maybe I'll just have this phone.
Yeah. Maybe I'll
It's a landline.
Hello?
maybe I'll
Hello?
stop by.
Yeah, please do. It's early. It's from 9 to 1. Might go a
Okay.
little bit later. Starts at 9.
You can dress up like with a Ron Burgundy mustache and suit, but then also like guns, and you could be Ron Wick, or like a candle. Be like John, dressed like combined John Wick, but with like Ron Burgundy maybe.
Yeah.
And you'd be Ron Wick.
I'd like to just put a wig on my head.
That's enough.
That's
yeah.
always good.
Yeah.
One time I just dressed up like I was goth because I had some girl left eyeliner makeup at my apartment. So I just dressed up like I was The Cure or something.
I mean, if you put eyeliner on right now, you'd be pretty much there, all black and that. What's that kind of chain called? Is that a Cuban link?
Called cheap. It's called cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't figured it out. Maybe I might put. I wish to have my dog's cone. I put the cone on.
You could be a cowboy. You like wear a cowboy hat and a Wayne Gretzky jersey and be John Wayne Gretzky.
Oh my God,
God.
that's good.
Yeah, dress up as a clown and wear a hockey jersey. Is that what?
Oh, I have a costume actually. Anya gave me her clown nose, so I'm gonna wear the clown nose.
Oh,
that's it.
If you wear the cone, you could just put like a little dog nose on your nose and just do that.
Oh, that's funny.
Although the cone on your head, it might make everything in the room louder. It might be. Wouldn't it make everything louder?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I couldn't do it. It would be very cumbersome. Also, Masha broke her cone.
Oh.
She managed to do the one thing the cone is not supposed to do, which is be destroyed.
Is she fully healed? Are her stitches?
She's probably like 85%, 90%.
Does she seem like a changed dog?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Where is she? There's her butt.
There she is.
Little tail of the pup.
Has she been laying there behind you this whole time?
No.
Okay.
No.
She's like a full dog now.
She's
Daddy's been laying next to me the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see him.
I gotta take the thing off. He's here.
Okay. If it's too hard, don't worry about it.
Can you see him?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I like that his face is blurred out.
I'll be honest. I wish these dogs did more on the show.
Right?
Yeah.
They're just laying.
It's cold and wet out today.
They just did a little copy for us once in a while, maybe some advertising. I don't know.
Sure.
Work for their food.
Speaking of advertising, I guess we'll just take this moment to remind everyone watching that you can listen to the rebroadcast on iHeartRadio.
Woohoo! On regular cat radio.
Yeah. Check us out Mondays. So there's that.
It's nice. I heard radio.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to be involved with. Damn it. I had something I wanted to ask you guys about. I forgot it.
George Fantauzi is watching and he just wrote Stoners. He wrote this 15 minutes ago.
Just stoners, that's it?
Yeah.
Spotted them.
Thanks, George.
Yeah.
George the animal.
He's just acknowledging that.
Yeah, spotted them.
He's just acknowledging that he watched. He's like, yeah.
That's what
this was.
Yeah.
What if in our lifetime, in the next 10 to 15 years, all of a sudden NASA's like, oh, dudes, 5-6 years from now, Anunnaki is coming into we see it rotating into our planetary system. Like, this is real. Gravitational pull is going to be a little wonky. We're not exactly sure how that shit's going to be. And also, they're going to take all our gold. That wasn't bullshit. We've been collecting everybody's gold. That's why they invented Bitcoin as a new source of store value, but we got to give up all this gold because they're going to take it to put in their atmosphere, whatever the fuck reason they had for doing it.
Okay.
What do you, and that's why we keep seeing UFOs, and they're just kind of letting it bleed into our just normality, and then all of a sudden it's just like, boom, this is what's happening, guys.
Okay.
What's up with that?
If I found out aliens were real and that we had an ongoing like relationship with them,
yes,
I'd be like, hey, let's cure cancer, right? That's what we're gonna do next, right? Are we curing diseases? Right.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
That's a solid, right? We're like, all right, you got us good one time, but none of this under the table shit anymore. We need to cure cancer. Some people need fresh water, right?
Yeah,
shit like
fresh
that.
water. Yeah, but can we get this world hunger problem situated? That's it.
Yeah. We listen, by the way, if you told us that we needed to give all our gold to some weird alien nation, we would have all worked together, by the way. So moving forward, let's all work together.
Really? Good point. Yeah. Stop lying to us. Let's just work together.
Yeah. Right? If we knew that we owed a big bill, like if we're at a bill, we're all at lunch.
Yeah.
And Ralph forgets his wallet. Sorry to pick on Ralph.
Yeah.
But say Ralph forgets his wallet. We're all going to be like, listen, we're not going to leave Ralph there. Like, we're all going to pitch in. Sure. And we're all going to be like, we'll deal with it, repercussions later. Yeah. But right now, I understand this has to, right? We're all going to pay that tab. Sure. All the gold. All right, cool. Glad we figured something else out.
Yeah.
I want to show a picture of a bunch of people working together.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's see it. It is weird that there's a conspiracy theory that exists that aliens are after our gold because they breathe it or something, or they need it. I don't know. They eat it.
I heard it was to spread throughout their atmosphere or something like that. They needed to sustain their atmosphere.
Yeah, these guys are all working together.
Wow.
I don't know what made me think of this. This is my favorite comic book artist.
Ralph, let me pitch you a sketch. I'm going to pitch you a sketch that I thought of. Cool. That you just remind me of. Right when Captain America, right at Endgame, right? And he and all the guys come back from time. I hope I'm not spoiling it for anybody. They all come back and they walk through the circles. And then he's like, Avengers! And then he says really quietly, assemble. And then they all run. So I want to do a sketch where like we're one of the Avengers on the sides, but we're like, what did he say? What did he say? But then everybody runs by us. We're like, all right, attack. He said attack.
Yeah. I know that that's a thing from the comic book Avengers Assemble, but in that moment, it's just sort of like, I bet somebody would have made fun of him as like, so that's what you said?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is like
we already assembled, by the way. We just did the assembling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph, you wanted to reassemble?
Ralph, show us that photo again.
That's my favorite comic book artist of my whole life. His name is John Romita or Ramada Jr. Hold on.
You guys ever hear the Norm Macdonald sketch of Mr. Fantastic?
Well, hold on real quick. Because like, if this is real and you're a superhero and all these other superheroes are around you, how do you not bump into somebody? You know?
Yeah.
Like Hulk is definitely going to bump into Cyclops, I feel like.
Yeah, Human Torch is like leaving a trail. Look how much space he's taking up.
Yeah, really. It is a cool drawing, but it's also, I feel, impractical.
Impractical and impossible, yeah. All these people could be somewhere else doing some work.
Well, with just a little planning, I think Captain America is supposed to be a big master planner, but it seems like he's so willy-nilly right now. Norm Macdonald has an audio-only sketch on one of his first albums where Mr. Fantastic names the group, and he describes each one's name, because they're now more than just humans. So he's like, all right, you're invisible, you'll be called the Invisible Girl. Yeah. You're a rock-like thing, you'll be called the Thing. You're a flaming, fire, we'll call you the Human Torch. Right. And I'm Mr. Fantastic.
That is funny. Yeah. Is that the whole sketch or there's more of it?
No, they talk more. They talk it out like it seems kind of rude, and he's like, because my powers are fantastic, and they're like, well, all of ours are kind of fantastic.
You just stretch long.
Right.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute sketch. It's really well done.
I grew up loving the Fantastic Four comic book. I don't know if you guys read it, but like they've done it.
Yeah.
They've done it twice as a movie, and I didn't watch either of them, but I could just tell they were bad, and of course the reviews were that they were bad.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, Marvel now has reacquired the rights to them, but the tone of Fantastic Four they already did with Guardians.
I heard that I heard that because I don't read the comics as much, but I think it's what they're doing as a movie is amazing and making that universe. And they say that the new Fantastic Four is supposed to ingratiate itself into this world awesomely.
I mean, that's their hope. I hope they do it. I think the only way to do it would be to make it like very, very family friendly. Make it like the Goonies or something, or like Lost in Space.
I think it seems like that's what they keep doing in it. Is that why they fail? I mean, I watched the other movies. I'm not a Fantastic Four guy, but I know people who are into the Fantastic Four. They really freaking love them.
I don't know why the other ones failed. I think that's a really good question. I think they have a very specific tone because it's very much like a family sitcom with superpowers.
Yeah,
that's what makes it work. Because everyone's related except for the Thing, and the Thing is like, the uncle that just hangs around. He's like whatchamacallit, Uncle.
He's the eternal bachelor.
Exactly. Yeah, was just around, but he's like he basically is family. So that's the thing that I think that's the thing that Marvel knows that DC never knew, which is like really we're just interested in who these characters are and what they act like. We don't really, the powers are like cool, but that's not why we're here.
Yes.
And the DC movies.
I watched the new Suicide Squad movie last night. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Gunn.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was it funny?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Who was your favorite hero? Did you have a favorite hero?
Shark guy.
I did like the polka dot guy was cool, but the shark guy was cool too. What was his name? The Toro or something like that. I don't know.
Who's the polka
Toro?
dot guy?
He's the guy that throws the polka dots.
Yeah, there's this guy who has
his
polka
character.
dots that come flying out of his body.
Is this another prank?
No, this is the new Suicide Squad movie.
He's right. This is dude who has like these giant blisters on his body that are like big polka dots that eventually are his like power. He has like a superpower.
I've never heard of it. I'm gonna have to look at.
But they're pretty funny. Like one of the things they do really well is he sees, like they all have like a mental problem. Like this guy has a mental problem, the polka dot guy, and he sees everybody else is his mother.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw
they show from his view a couple times, and one of the last times is like a fight scene,
right?
And he sees the alien. This alien is a whole bunch of little aliens all over the place, and so he just sees his mother all over the place and a big giant mom destroying a city. And they did it good. They did it well.
Yeah, they did.
What was I gonna say?
Also, you see John Cena's penis. It's huge.
You would imagine that it is. Idris Elba's in that one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Idris Elba. Whenever I see him in a trailer, I'm like, I don't want to see that movie because he just looks like a model all the time. He's just so handsome and like, and he has it's like watching Vin Diesel or The Rock. It's like you're in such good shape and so statuesque. I can't believe anything is wrong.
Yeah, that's why I kind of don't want to see the new Dune movie. It's because Timothy Chalamet is just so hot.
Yeah.
Who's Timothy Chalamet? He's the new kid. Paul.
What is it? Atreides or
Atreides, yeah.
Yeah, he's the new. Timothy Chalamet is like the new River Phoenix or Johnny Depp. He's just young and pretty and charismatic.
Right. Yeah, so it's like, oh, of course this hot guy is gonna win at the end of the movie. But I'll see Dune eventually. Oh, you know what? I did. You know how Don says that he doesn't watch movies? Have you ever heard him say that?
I didn't know that.
I don't watch movies.
No, I didn't know that.
He's told me that he's only seen like 4 movies in his whole life or something like that.
Wow. What movie? I hope they weren't. They're throwaway movies too, right?
Well, I mean, I think that might be a slight exaggeration, but I asked him if he wanted to go see Dune in the theater and then review it on the show, and he said he might.
Oh,
nice.
Cool.
Cool.
I'll follow up with him if he wants to do it next week. Or
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, from what I saw a cheesy bootleg version of Dune, and I don't know who I was just saying this to. Is it you, Jay? That I feel like I heard from what I saw.
Yep.
'Cause I gotta rewatch it. Is like the movie's so long, the story's so long that it was just getting to like right as this movie ends is when it gets, to my perspective, exciting.
oh,
You know?
yeah.
So it's
I
like
believe
this
it.
whole part was when I was like, I remember you asking me about it, and I'm like muscling through my way through the beginning of the book,
Right.
and that's what you're gonna watch in this movie is like
Yeah.
muscling through to hopefully enjoy the next 2.
I've heard that, but I also have heard people say it's really good. I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to be visually dope. That's why I want to go see it.
Right.
I heard, did you hear this? That Disney, like this is a theory, is that because AMC and movie theaters are dying out right now, is that like when we're like in 10 years from now, we're like, when you go to like Disney's going to buy all the movie theaters and then you're going to watch, like have these experiences. You're going to go like, you're going to get like the Disney experience by going to the movies.
Oh,
I mean, it might be fun, but sometimes I just want to sit there and watch something. I don't know.
They'll probably still, I bet you they'll still have small movie theaters where you get to see, because that, like, we all want that. Just like they have drive-ins now.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe bars will start showing movies. It's like, okay, we're going to have a movie night. We'll just set up a movie projector. It'll be smaller than what movie theaters used to be, but it'll be kind of the same. And then everyone will be like, oh, this is fun. I love it.
We have a
it's like when we went to go to movies.
Yeah.
It's like night bowling.
We've had a projector. Anya's had a projector. So we watched stuff on the last few years.
Yeah.
I still want to go to the movie theater, but yeah, movie theaters are. Yeah, it's not gonna. I feel like it's gonna become much more of a rare thing.
I finally put my shelf back up.
Oh yeah.
And I have my movie projector up there now. So in my other room, I can watch movies on there. Yeah. Took me 4 months to do it.
How's the light working out for you?
The light? Oh, the neon light?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. My friend gave me a neon light and I hung it up over there. It's
nice.
It's up there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It lights up the whole room. It's kind of like the only light I use at night, kind of.
Oh wow. Which is what you
I
wanted.
get it.
What's what?
It's what you wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it a good reading light?
Yeah, you can read underneath it. Yeah.
It's not good for your eyes, Sean.
They're
all gonna laugh at you.
all gonna laugh at you.
Does this look wrong?
No,
like
it looks
a banana.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like I'm smiling.
No, it's too big. No.
How about a mustache? So flip it over the other way.
Oh,
I still know it's a balloon.
Looks like Ronald McDonald's thingy now. That's what
Hold on,
I
gotta call somebody about this.
Yeah.
I like that it has this thing on the end is like a landline. This thing won't deflate. It's been in the house for like a week.
Wow. It's part of the family now.
Quality.
Don't name it or it'll stay. or else it'll be hard to get rid of.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Look at me. I'm yellow. Whoa, that's
yellow.
cool.
It's funny how like there was times in my childhood that once in a while there were balloons in the house, but it was always exciting when there were balloons. Like if there's a party or something, and it was like the day after the party, we still had balloons, and the parents would be like, "All right, we got to get these balloons out of here," and the kids would be like, "Nah, let's leave the balloons."
Balloons are
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
I would always the balloons wouldn't last in my house because we'd all go after the balloons and try to like and then talk funny. And everything.
If there was helium balloons, I'm definitely sucking on them.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They
How do
would
you
not
even
last.
untie them?
So off of that
You just nick the corner of it and you
Yeah.
You just nick the corner of it with your tooth and breathe it out.
But if you had the rule in my house was if you had one of those helium balloons that they were in the silver things, you know, like a get well soon or congratulations, one of those ones that were like a little more fancy, not a rubber balloon.
Oh yeah.
The silver ones.
Yeah.
That one stays up as long as it can stay up.
Yeah. Special.
That one's in the house and it's hanging out in the corner until it slowly drifts down and then it just stands. The weight, it just has enough weight. The string has enough weight to hold it down, so it's about head high.
Yeah. Well, most of the balloons that we had in our house were just filled with regular air. We would just like fill them with regular air and then like tape them, or you know. But there was one time we had a helium balloon in the house, and like nobody sucked out the helium, and we just left it alone.
Well, yeah.
And I remember one time it like appeared in my bedroom on the second floor while I was doing homework. It was just like behind me. Like it was an ongoing conversation of like, how's this?
Where the balloon will be?
Yeah, this balloon is moving around.
Both 90 degrees and they're parallel.
Can we move the balloon back down to the first floor?
If they're not.
Hey, it's in the. Where's the balloon go? Oh, it's in. I found it in the basement. What's it doing in the laundry room? Float it down there.
Hey, close that fence. Close the backyard fence. We're gonna let the balloon out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, we only had one kind of we didn't have like helium balloons. We only had one kind of balloon in my house.
Rare air.
Rare air.
I'm looking at the other.
Is that the name of his book?
This is a book that came out like in the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Michael on Michael, Rare Air. It's funny.
Oh, okay.
It was a cool book. There was like some cool stories in there. I read it years ago.
Yeah.
I had it. I don't know why.
Like balloons, stories about balloons.
Yeah. Only.
Mm.
It's a weird book because that's all he talks about. You think he would even talk about a basketball system inflated by air, but he wouldn't.
No. What do you think the longest? Now Jordan hasn't played in a while, obviously, but he's still, an athlete.
Yep.
What's the longest you think he's gone without touching a basketball?
That's a great question.
Do you think he's gone a week?
I was gonna say if it's a month, it'd be a long time. I think.
Yeah.
Really? I was gonna say a year.
A year? Whoa, that'd be insane.
Yeah, no.
No, he seems like he enjoyed it.
Right.
Can you imagine that Steve Martin probably hasn't done stand-up in the last 30 years? He's probably done stand-up maybe 100 times.
Right.
Hey, what about wasn't Eddie Murphy supposed to be back by now? Seems like a long time that we've been talking about it. Now he hasn't, and then he just died out.
Well,
Hope he didn't.
Pandemic.
I think he started talking about doing stand-up again pre-COVID, and then COVID happened. I bet he'll do it in like a year or two. It just got rescheduled. He'll do it again.
I wouldn't be surprised if he never does it.
Did you guys see Steve Martin and Martin Short, their performance on Broadway? Or like it went to special. They filmed it once.
I watched it. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I didn't love it either, though. I think because I love them both so much, I was a little underwhelmed.
Mm.
I don't think
But
we
still.
want. I'm trying to think of comics who never were not funny, who never lost a step.
Mm.
Who's like that? Probably Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney
Don
seemed to get
Rickles.
funnier as he got older.
Mm.
Don Rickles, they say he was a whip the whole time.
I
Yeah.
believe
And
that.
always performing.
Yeah. I wonder if there's clips of Don Rickles bombing. There has to be. Oh, you know, I found a Johnny Carson channel on Pluto TV,
Oh yeah.
and there was an episode where George Carlin was performing, and it sucked.
Wow.
It was like not good. And then he
The
went
jokes too.
What's that?
It's like the audience reception of it and the jokes as well, the writing.
Yeah, I don't think the audience really loved it that much. And then he went and sat down on the couch, and he kind of just was like, I don't know, it wasn't good, but whatever, you know.
Did Johnny Carson look over him and go, "That sucks"?
No, but then Richard Pryor came out, no jokes, just an interview, but it was great.
Same one, right?
Huh?
Same one,
episode.
right? Same episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
I just imagine Richard Pryor walking out just like swaggering, like I'm about to fucking kill. George Carlin just looking at it.
But I bet there's clips of Richard Pryor on Johnny Carson that are just sort of, he did okay. I'm sure that too.
Absolutely.
We have like 3 minutes left. Is there anything?
Oh,
anything? Next week we're gonna have this Kermit guy on that we found on Instagram. We know. I know that.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, dude. I guess I hope, I don't know what I want because I don't want him to reveal his secrets.
Right.
Like, I don't know where he's based. I don't know anything about him.
You guys got shows coming up this week?
We got Stoner Morning Show Monday.
Yep.
Stoner Morning Show live
with guests Pip Smith and Nate Adamski.
Nice.
Yeah.
At the cupboard.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ralph, you doing any other things?
That means that we're done with the first.
All right, you don't have to force it.
Sorry.
You don't have to impress me, Ralph. I'm already impressed.
I don't think so.
You don't have his calendar in front of him.
I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, do I have anything? Yeah. Okay. I gotta go, guys. I gotta take the dog out.
All right, yeah. Let's all wrap it up. All right, love you, Ralph. See you, buddy.
Love you, Ralph. See you Monday. Oh, Don just sent me a message that BZ Douglas said on YouTube that Sean Wickens only gets funnier the longer I've known him. Smiley face. Thank you. I bombed on a show last week though. So
I bombed 2 hours earlier today.
Oh,
we did an open mic here.
What can you attribute it to? I have some insight onto why I bombed. What was your?
I had really low energy and I was writing on stage. So I interacted with one guy and we got more truthful than fun. And then I tried to make it funny at the end, which it was, and then I got off stage. But it was a lot of philosophizing instead of jokes.
Yeah. Hi, Ralph. Well, I did an open mic last week and I bombed, but I know that it's because like 8 people left in the middle of it. And I was like the 20th comedian because people kept on showing up and they kept on just sort of like getting on and then leaving. And I was just sort of like, so in a way I didn't want to be there by the time I went up. I was like, this is.
I think for me too, I had low energy. So I was kind of like, let me just do it because this is what I do.
Yeah. And then I left there thinking shame on me for just not rising to the occasion. I gave up. But
agreed. Me same. I feel the same.
Yeah.
All right, let's do better next time. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's a
I
good.
love you, buddy.
That's a good motto. Yeah. Love you
Yeah.
guys. All right.
Good show.